Howdy everyone. I am currently working on these F717 lower longerons for the fuselage. And I have this one made. This one is ready to install. I've got the end modified as per the instructions. It's cut to length, it's been deburred, and it's already been drilled. However, when you look at the plans, this section KK, it clearly shows that from the edge of the longeron to the center line of the bolt is supposed to be a 1/2 inch. That will not work because the metal bracket, you will have basically no edge distance between the center of the bolt and the edge of the metal bracket. Again, like I always say, this will make sense when you actually get to this point and you start building. But if you do 1/2 inch spacing from the edge of the aluminum angle to the center of the bolt, if that dimension is 1/2 inch, when you match drill this to the metal bracket, you are not going to have the edge distance on the metal bracket. And you can see that even here on the drawing. From the center line of the bolt to the edge of the metal bracket, this bottom part here, that distance is very, very minimal for that size of a bolt. Now, if I bring this over, let me take this over to the airplane or to the fuselage. So here's the fuselage upside down. So this is the bottom of the fuselage. I've got the bottom forward skin removed so that I can work on it. Here is the metal bracket. That's the metal bracket. The longeron then fits like this. Let me see if I can get this C-clamp out of here. That's good enough. So the longeron sits on top of the bracket, just like that. So you can see where the holes are that I drilled on the aluminum, and you can kind of see the metal powder-coated bracket underneath. Now, if these holes, I'm trying to do this one-handed again, if I had drilled these holes a 1/2 inch from this edge, if these holes were over this way from where they are now, they would be moved over this way. Then this hole here would be even closer to this edge than they are now. So just be careful when you go to drill your aluminum angle. You want to make sure, as best as you can, because you probably won't be able to get edge distance on both parts. I was very lucky and got very, very close. So this edge distance for me, from this edge to the center line of these holes, that is, what is that? That's 3/8 plus a 1/16. So that's what? 7/16. So it's just under 1/2 inch. So from the edge of the aluminum to the center line of the bolt holes on my part is 7/16. I then took this, clamped it in place over my powder coated metal bracket. When I had the aluminum angle in here, I made sure that everything was clamped tight. If you don't have it clamped tight, that will also affect your edge distance. So with everything clamped tight, I came down with a drill through the aluminum and made a mark here on the metal bracket. And if I measure this distance, this edge distance here on the metal bracket, it ends up being exactly 3/8. So again, this edge distance is, I believe it's, what did I say? 7/16. Let me verify that real quick if I can. Hopefully this will focus. So that is 2, 4, 6. That's exactly 7/16. Don't know if that's going to come out in view for you guys, but that's 7/16 there. And then if I measure the edge distance here, again, one-handed work here, people. Be patient with me. That is just shy, I mean just a hair under 3/8. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to go with that. So the bottom line from all this long-winded nonsense that I just said was basically to warn you, when you get to the part where you're building your lower longerons, when you're fabricating your lower longerons, when you drill these 4 bolt holes, be very careful how you drill these and make sure that you match them to the metal bracket to make sure you have edge distance on both parts. And it's the same general idea for the top longerons. Those brackets there. It's the same general idea, just to verify you have everything clamped nice and tight and secure, so you bring everything tight against one another and you nest everything nice and tight, so when you drill you maintain a good edge distance. If you don't clamp, edge distance could be a problem. So take your time, be careful, and you shouldn't have any big issues. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and final drill this bracket here that I just showed you. Again, like I always do, I guess it's worth repeating. I'll bring my aluminum angle over, I'll clamp everything tight, and then as usual, I'll come down with a drill bit, just like I did with this one. I'll come down through the aluminum with a drill bit, make my marks, pull the angle out of the way, come in here with my drill, zip, 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 drill the holes, come back, put my parts back together, clamp everything, and then match drill just to make sure that they play nice with one another. I don't want to, personally, this is my choice, I don't like having the aluminum angle in here clamped. Even though it's an 1/8 inch thick, it's still aluminum, it's soft. This is steel. My concern is if I clamp this together and I just come through the aluminum and start drilling all the way through, that the drill bit is going to wander and walk, and the holes in the aluminum are going to get jacked. So I prefer just to make marks and get the aluminum out of the way and then drill the metal. So again, it's just something that I like to do, and if you've seen my other videos, I talk about that quite a bit. So that's what I'm going to do next, and then I'm going to start fabricating the lower longeron for the other side. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.